Let's move on to the main event, man. So listen, dude, this you want to talk about being excited, man. I'm excited. But not for the reasons that I think everybody else is excited for, man. I'm excited because after this win, and I'm going to do a spoiler alert from the jump, and then we're going to talk about it. After this win, there's no way anybody could discount Stipe Miocic ever again. It's impossible. You've won 2 out of 3 against Daniel Cormier, arguably one of the GOATs of the game. You would have defeated the baddest, scariest man on the planet twice. And you would have defended your belt 6 times the most out of anybody ever, I'm pretty sure, in the heavyweight division. Don't get me wrong. GSP, I think he got like 12 title defenses at 170. But nonetheless, so Stipe Miocic is the underdog. I hope you know this, AJ. He's like a plus 110 underdog against Francis Ngannou. And I want to do a little breakdown of the first fight. So really quickly, I'll do a very quick summary, right? This is what happened in the first fight. Francis Ngannou comes out hot. He opens up in southpaw, throws a big head kick, and then abandons southpaw, starts winging huge hooks. Stipe gets caught by a couple, but he evades. Takedown. At the end of round 1, Francis was gassed. Stipe looked like he had just been in a 5-round fight. Stipe clips Francis Ngannou clips Stipe once in the second round with like an uppercut. He evades, takedown, yada, yada, yada. Rinse, wash, repeat rounds 3 through 5. And it was it was like the first round was the only thing that mattered. Everything else at that point, it was runaway for Stipe. So how does this fight change, man? Give me devil's advocate for Francis Ngannou. We already know all it takes is one, literally. Not even one. You can get like a third of a strike, and that'll knock you out. But just give me some arguments for how Ngannou could make this different than the first fight.
And that's the biggest thing to me is where's the difference? You know what I'm saying? We've seen Stipe go rounds. We've seen him evolve. We've seen him grow. We haven't been able to see that with Francis because he's knocking people out with a pinky. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish we could see these 3-round, 5-round fights with Francis. We can actually see, and we can see if he has that gas tank again, because that's what he needs to do is make it not blow his load in the first round. Literally, like wait a little bit. Touch him up a little bit in the first, just don't try to kill him literally in the first 30 seconds. Make your fight go a little longer, because that was the biggest thing with the first fight, man. He couldn't make it past 5 minutes. Yeah. Literally, if you would have had him go like any amount longer than that first 5 minutes without giving him a break, he would have just died. Like, cardiac arrest, like even the gut was coming out, like he was breathing hard. So if you're gonna make it different, I think bring it to him. Take him down first. Put him on his back. Put Miocic on his back. Shoot for the double leg. Shoot for the single leg. Get him thinking like, oh wow, this guy wants to wrestle. Like you're a wrestler now. Like okay, but then send him back up, and maybe you can hurt him, because he did hurt Francis hurt Stipe in the first fight. Excuse me, and he hurt him a couple times. So if you can hurt him but not get taken down, that's the thing. But not get taken down. How many times can you not get taken down? So. That's where the real difference lies, is if Francis can either take Stipe down or not get taken down and have enough gas to stay in the fight. So there's a lot of variables, man. It makes it hard to be devil's advocate for Francis. But I think one of the key points is that he had a lot of time to be on the shelf and work that cardio, work that ground game, work that defense. So we'll see if he's actually been putting the work in, because the proof will be in the pudding. And man, if his pudding's soft, it's going to be a long night for him.
Listen, man, it's funny right there. but listen, man, this is the thing. All we've been hearing about is Francis Ngannou is training at Extreme Couture, right? He's been doing nothing but practicing wrestling, taking videos of him eating body shots for whatever reason. Doesn't even make sense. But this is the thing, man. Francis Ngannou, since he fought, we're not going to count the Derek Lewis fight because that basically didn't even happen. We're just going to pretend that didn't exist, right? Someone had to win. I guess Lewis won the fight, but it shouldn't have even taken place. That was literally probably one of the worst fights in UFC history. Nonetheless, since that fight, Francis Ngannou has racked up a combined fight time of 162 seconds or 2.7 minutes since fighting Miocic for the first time. So instead of taking the approach that I was surprised Macy Chasson took versus Marion Renault, basically Chasson said, I wanted to come out and I wanted to test myself across the distance. I didn't want to come out and just kill immediately, right? I wanted to prove to myself, if it went 3 rounds, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I can give. Francis Ngannou hasn't made that choice. Maybe he tried to do that choice, but he just hits too hard and people can't take it. But he hasn't even taken the approach of I'm just going to sit back and chill, and then try to, straight shots. The thing about Francis Ngannou's style is it's unforgiving. And what that means is he either winging big hooks at you or he's not fighting. That's just his fight style, and it works every single time unless you're fighting Stipe. Now, the question becomes this. Does Francis Ngannou do the thing that I think could make this really interesting? And because he utilized it against JDS, man, calf kicks. If Francis Ngannou starts picking away with calf kicks and manages his distance so he doesn't get taken down eating that, dude, you can only imagine when William Knight calf kicks people, right? And obviously a different guy, but they're both huge, right? With those tree trunk legs, you see visible damage immediately. All it takes is one, right? So I'm thinking if Ngannou can say, let me spam those leg kicks and really beat up your legs so you're not as mobile, and then I can really chase you down, because let's not forget, we're at the apex, so this is about like 15 feet smaller or something like that of a cage, right? It's going to be a lot less distance for Miocic to be able to run away at, because he's going to have to be on his bike if he wants to survive this fight. Ultimately, man, if Francis Ngannou on the feet, what strategy can he implement? Do you that you think would be like novel, something that's new? I think the calf kick could be a real deal one. I don't anticipate him turning into a boxer all of a sudden and just straight shots. You know what I mean? I don't anticipate that, but I do think the calf kick could be interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good one for the standing up, and I definitely think that's something that Stipe or I guess a lot of the big heavyweights really haven't kind of figured out yet. It's a lot more of a little man's game, kicking you in the calf and then piecing you up. But if Ngannou was going to do that, man, it's a hell of a thing. Now, if I'm going to think of something more novel that I would think Francis is going to add to his game, I think it's going to be the ground game. Personally, I would love to see him stand up and actually kick him from range and then wait. Let Stipe, come at him a little bit and then counter strike. Show us a little bit something more than just I'm gonna wing some shots, just throw them and pray to God it lands. Because if you're gonna add something novel to your game, and you're not gonna go ground game, you want to stay on your feet striking. Yeah, man, kick him in the leg. We've seen the efficiency of it, where we've seen its effectiveness, of the calf kick. So why not? Why not give it a shot? Especially because he does have the reach advantage, so he's not gonna get caught on the end of all of Stipe's punches when he's just throwing little calf kicks. I think it's a good idea. I would love to see that, actually, especially because he's fast. Yeah. Ngannou's very fast for the division. So
let me just say this before we give our picks, man. This is the plan. If you're I told you Stipe is going to win this fight. I really believe that. But this is what you do if you're Francis. You don't rush in. You stay calm. Start kicking those calves. Stipe is either going to have to get out the way or he's going to have to counter. So what happens is you draw out a counter of Stipe and you counter the counter. So you calf kick, wait for Stipe to bring like a right hand across, and then you counter the right hand with your own right hand or your own big hook and get him out of there. That's what if I'm coach in the corner of Ngannou, that's what I'm telling him to do, because at the end of the day, let Miocic land a big right hand on you, bro. It's not going to phase you. It's not, it's going to bounce off you. He's like the Hulk, dude. It just bounces off of him. Now, everybody could get knocked out. Don't forget. But that's what we come down to. So ultimately, I'm going Stipe Miocic, decision win, rinse, wash, repeat. What about you?
And yeah, I'm right there with you, Derek. Unless there's been a drastic change to Ngannou's game, I think it's going to be a rinse and repeat of the first match. I got to Stipe by decision, but I would love to see something different and see a rubber match. We'll see, though.
Yeah, we'll see.